Welcome to your Weld County School District 6 Board of Education meeting. It's Monday, November 10th, 2014. This meeting will now come to order. Will you please join me in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Ms. Ray.
Mr. DeWitt?
Present.
Mr. Haefele?
Present.
Mr. Hall?
Present.
Mr. Lydiak?
Mr. Lydiak will be absent this evening.
Dr. Richard?
Present.
Mr. Richardson?
Present.
Mrs. Solis?
Ms. Elise will also be absent this evening.
5 members are present.
Thank you very much. The first item on our agenda this evening will be hearing of persons desiring to speak before the Board of Education. And we have one person who's interested in speaking this evening, and that is Ms. Pat Otto. Welcome.
Thank you. President DeWitt, members of the board who are in attendance tonight, Superintendent Eads. I'm speaking tonight just on a point of clarification about a statement that was made about a month ago at a board meeting. I'd like to clarify some information that was stated by a board member in regards to the salary schedule in the master contract. It was stated that all teachers would get a 2% increase, including the horizontal movement. Out of the approximate 1,054 employees who are paid on the salary schedule, only 131 employees received that horizontal movement. This means approximately 923 employees paid on the salary schedule only received the 1.5 to the base. I would like to further clarify that the 131 employees paid on that, the 131 employees that received the horizontal movement had already earned horizontal credit by paying for their own university credit or by attending a variety of PD on their own time, unlike the other employee groups who received the full 2% continuing to do their daily job requirements. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Otto. Appreciate it. The next item is the work session report. Ms. Bray.
Board President Roger DeWitt began the work session with open comments from board members, a calendar review of upcoming board events, and agenda planning items. He led discussion regarding the superintendent search information sheet and the strategic plan draft. Chief Academic Officer Dr. Stacy Dattery, Director of Curriculum and Assessment Diana Riley, and Instructional Coach Lori Ford gave a presentation on the K-12 District Math Program. Board members had time for questions. Success Foundation President Bill Kurtz and Success Foundation Executive Director Judy Crone gave a presentation on the district's education foundation, the Success Foundation. Mr. Kurtz discussed accomplishments of the foundation, and board members had time for discussion and questions regarding future collaboration with the foundation. That concluded the work session.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the agenda, and this is an action item. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Ms. Bray.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Haefele?
Aye.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mr. Richardson?
Aye.
And the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. The next item is the approval of the consent agenda. This is an action item. The motion is found on page 7. I'll entertain a motion at this time.
I move that the Board of Education of Weld County School District 6 approve the items as presented on the consent agenda and authorize the officers to sign any and all contracts.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Ms. Bray.
Mr. DeWitt?
Aye.
Mr. Haefele?
Aye.
Mr. Hall?
Aye.
Dr. Richard?
Aye.
Mr. Richardson?
Aye.
And the motion carries 5-0.
Thank you. The next item is the Special Education Advisory Council, and the Director of Exceptional Student Services, Tom Gribble, will be introducing us to some very special people.
President DeWitt, Superintendent Eads, members of the board, my name is Tom Gribble. I'm the Director of exceptional student services for the Greeley Evans School District, and I welcome and appreciate the opportunity to join you in recognizing members of our Special Education Advisory Committee, more commonly known as SEAC. Right? And so I know you have some information in front of you. The mission of SEAC really parallels the Colorado Special Education Advisory Committee, and that is to represent children and youth with disabilities and impact decisions made on their behalf to enhance the quality of educational services. Our committee is comprised of parents of students with disabilities, exceptional student services staff, community agencies, community members. It very much parallels, again, the vision of the Colorado SEAC, where most of the members are parents of children with disabilities. We currently have 16 members on SEAC, and we continue to want to grow that parent population, which currently now there's 7 parents on our committee, but we want to have representation from all 5 levels, if you will, including preschool, elementary, middle, high school, and our 18 to 21 transition services. And we do that, or one of our goals of doing that is to increase that parent representation is through our monthly SEAC meetings. And so you do have this brochure in English, and you'll notice in here not only just the functions of the committee, but also the dates. And you'll see that we meet on a monthly basis at elementary, middle, high schools, even charter schools. In fact, this month's meeting is at Frontier Secondary. And at every one of our SEAC meetings, and this is the second year that we've had all of our meetings out in school settings, and the SEAC group really appreciates the special education staff presenting essentially what is special about special ed at these campuses, as well as we are encouraging all those staff members to kind of bring a parent to SEAC, right, to help us kind of with this membership drive. And so so this is something that we have continuing to do, and the SEAC group is really liking to experience those buildings, hear from the teachers, and also increase that parent representation. 2 recent accomplishments that are a result of SEAC. One is the IEP parent survey. So starting in November of 2014, this last school year, we started to send all IEP documents after an IEP from our records department right on the other side of the wall. So this not only just lifted a burden off of our teachers' plate, but also it was a way for us to ensure that families were receiving copies of their IEP documents in a timely way. But we also did it to slip in a parent survey for each and every one of those IEPs. So there was English on the front, Spanish on the back, and also a link to our district webpage that had that both English and Spanish survey. And as a result, since then, we've had over 120 responses to that parent survey, and we review those results at every one of our SEAC meetings, just to kind of, look at what the temperature is, and it's been very, very positive. The other accomplishment that this group has done, and it was this past year, was the development of this parent handbook that you have in front of you. And in this, we'll know that over 2,000 students at the beginning of the school year, students with disabilities, received a copy of this document. It went home with all of our families. And you can see on the front cover, we highlighted, who are the contact people for their students this year, information regarding what is special education, what about IEP meetings, how can they become more involved, definitions of lingo. And while we weren't able to translate this into all languages, we were able to translate this into Spanish. And if you hold it upright, this is English and this is Spanish. Kind of magical, but it was very well received by our families. And so those are just a little high-level view of what the group has done these past couple of years. But so if you can now join me in recognizing the following SEAC members and their commitment to improving special education services for students with disabilities. They are a valuable group of caring individuals making a real difference in our district. And while we don't have all 16 here, we do have at least 4. So Jenny Clark, she's an ESS teacher. And Larry McDermott. Here's Larry. And Sarah Munt. And Matthew Rick is also here tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Eads, I think it might be time for our Prairie Heights Middle School update.
Thank you, President DeWitt. I would be happy to give a little information. As you may know, the school, Prairie Heights Middle School, is now over 50% complete. The building is proceeding on schedule and on budget. Right now, the insulation board is encompassing the entire building, and there's a foam spray sealant that's part of our LEED Gold energy efficiency rating is going on. It's almost complete. I will promise some pictures next time. We've got a lot of great pictures of the site that we can bring and show you. I also want to comment that the sample masonry panels are complete. Every time you do a building of this size, the masons put together exactly what the face of the building will look like. So those are all done, and those have been approved by our team and by the architect. And finally, I want to mention 65th Avenue. It is actually paved. We're just waiting for striping, which was going to be done tomorrow, but the weather may interfere with that just a little bit. So we're asking the City of Evans if they'll let us do some temporary striping and get that road open, but it should be just a matter of a couple more days before we have that open to the south, and the intersection will be have a controlled traffic light and be open for traffic.
That possibly the best news yet.
I think a lot of people are waiting for that moment.
Exactly.
We should have a ribbon cutting.
Yeah, no, that would slow everything down. Let's kind of open it up. Thank you so much. And while we're on the topic of improving things, how about the Greeley West High School update?
The Greeley West High School abatement project is also well underway. In the last week, we did receive bids for the abatement portion of the project, as well as the putback, which is a contractor that comes in after the abatement is done and puts back the finished materials so the building is usable again. We received 9 abatement bids and 5 construction bids. We're now in the process of working on contracts for those 2 service providers, and we'll be bringing those to the board on the November 24th meeting for action, and then we'll have next summer's planning well underway. We're also looking at where will all of the activities that are normally at a high school in the summer go, because West High School will be completely closed for the abatement project. We'll be closing it as soon as we possibly can, and right now we're working with the school staff to determine what has to be moved and how soon it can be moved and how quickly we can get into the building, because the summer window for this work is very short and very limited, and so it's going to be a real challenge to get the work done by the time school is ready to open in next August.
Outstanding. Comments or questions at this point on this? Thank you very much.